If you're a parent like me, you probably have a bin of baby clothes you're wondering what to do with. This is made of jumpers and sleepers, t-shirts and blankets, all worn when the kids were young. So take a pile of those clothes, the ones that you love the most, and get ready to cut them up. We're gonna make a baby clothes keepsake quilt. So for this project, you're gonna need lots of baby clothes you don't mind cutting up. You're gonna want a quilting ruler and a rotary cutter, fusible stabilizer and an iron, and basic sewing supplies like a sewing machine. Get rid of any seams. You wanna make sure you can get the same size block from every piece. For this quilt, I decided to make the blocks 7 by 7 inches. And because all of the clothes are made of stretchy material, we need to put a stabilizer on the back, a fusible stabilizer. That means it's going to iron on. It's going to make the fabric much easier to sew with on your regular sewing machine. So when the pieces are rough cut, I put the 7 by 7 inch stabilizer on the back and then trimmed my main fabric to 7 by 7. Now I could have ironed on the stabilizer on the back, also in a rough cut, but I did not want to waste the stabilizer, which is why I cut it to 7 by 7 before ironing it on. So you're going to do this for every single square. Seems daunting, but it actually didn't take that long. And save things like the snaps and the pockets just for a little extra interest. So this was a first birthday outfit, and I decided to applique the skirt right onto the bottom of the block so it A, reminds me of the first birthday, and B, adds a little visual interest. Now, instead of sewing all of these blocks together, I'm going to add these strips in between for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to make the quilt bigger, and two, because all of the t-shirt and sleeper and blanket fronts are all these different patterns, it's going to look a little wild if they were all touching, a bit too busy. So this is a great way to break up the craziness of all those different patterns. The other thing I'm doing so that it doesn't look quite so messy is I'm going to ombre the fabrics. I'm going to ombre all of the different blocks. I'm going to keep all the light patterns up top and gradually get darker as I go down the quilt. For now, I'm just sewing these sashing strips in between each block and filling out my rows. And I'm just using a 1/4 inch seam allowance here. Remember, it's always right sides together, 1/4 inch seam. And because we've got that stabilizer on the back, everything's staying nice and stiff and nothing is puckering. If I were to sew these knits on this machine with a straight stitch, it would not work this easily without that stabilizer on the back. So I'm just going to keep building the blocks with strips in between, and then I'm going to use long sashing strips to go in between the rows of blocks. Applique on the little skirt, and just let it dangle. You can see those long sashing strips in between the blocks really help break up all the different patterns. This is a definite keepsake and something great to do with that bin of baby clothes. I'm Jennifer Tryon. Thanks for watching.